Hey, and welcome back, freedom lovers and freedom warriors, to another episode of Essential Talks, where you stay for the conversation and you leave empowered. So I'm pretty excited for tonight's episode. We got George Douklias back from Jabless Jobs, and we're about to kind of get into it. But first, I want to get everyone to subscribe, like, and share. We got to get these messages out there. We got to really spread this around and get more people aware and on board, right? So, George, how
Hi.
are how have things been going with you?
Cool. Hmm. Where do I start? Well, things have been going great for us. I mean, it's a measurement for where the country's at, I suppose. But we're still going strong. When the mandates lifted in the spring, so-called mandates lifted in the spring, things didn't slow down for us. We even broke some sales records, and when I say sales, I mean job posts from employers.
That's great.
We were going just going strong, and I'm not sure what it was, but we're still making sales. We're still posting jobs, and it looks like we'll be in business for a long time, as long as Canadians want us to be.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I know with myself, I'm actually looking at hiring a couple of tattoo artists. So, um, and I was actually thinking, and I'm going to get you to kind of walk me through the process. But the idea I have is I had a chunk of my staff walk because I took a stand. So
Hmm.
the reason why I would be seeking somebody like yourself is I would be knowing the type of employee that I would be getting and kind of where their heads at, because the way everything has been navigating within the Canadian government and society is they're wedging us into almost two different categories.
Yeah.
So what is the process for a business owner? Like how do we go about it? How do we set a listing, and kind of walk us through that?
Sure. Yeah. You just go to joblessjobs.work. That's joblessjobs, dot work. And you go to the employers page. All the information you'd need is on the employers page. You can read it there, and then that's in the menu. And then you would just click post a job, and you just follow the prompts. It's just I think there's 3 pages that you just got to fill out. And there's small windows that pop up, and you fill them out. In the process of creating the job, if you don't have an account with us already, your account will be created while you're using your company information. There's also a box to check if you want to post anonymously. So someone can come along and post a job, and we won't show their company name, the company address, and the email address for when someone applies. They won't see it. So there's a way to be anonymous. However, I want to add to that. We do need to know who you are. If you're going to post anonymously, creating an account with us, sharing all your company information is not public. And but what's public is what shows up on the job board. So if we work really hard at protecting the integrity of the job board. So anyone that posts with us, anonymous or not, we check into them, make sure they're legit.
Yeah, very
So
important.
yeah, that's pretty much the process. It's $75 for a 6 month post. So make a post, and it'll be up for 6 months, and then throughout that 6 months, or even immediately, you can make that job listing a feature. It's $100 for a 7 day feature, and or it's $200 for a 28 day feature. And what that means is you get your job listing at the top of the job board in a carousel that scrolls past, and it's also on the home page that scrolls by left to right, and that'll be on there for the duration that you choose. And then during any time in that 6 months, you can come back into your account and make changes to edit your job, or have the job featured again.
Oh, very good. Very good. So what are the dynamics that you have right now across Canada? I remember the last time we were talking, it was heavy in BC and Ontario. So how has that expanded for you?
How is it expanded for us in our regions?
In the regions, have you broke out into any other kind of province or territory getting heavier? Um,
Yeah, we've had a lot more traction in the prairies. Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan. Since we've spoken, those provinces have really woken up for us. We're still trying really hard for the Maritimes and some areas of Ontario. Windsor, Essex. If anyone's listening from Windsor, Essex, we're coming for you. We're not forgetting about you. And a place that's close to my heart is northwestern Ontario, like way northwestern Ontario, like Sunset Country, north of Thunder Bay. Way out there. That's an area I've spent a lot of time in, and I'd love to see some jobs in there. So we got them on our sites as well. We've had some posts from the north, from Yukon, even one just recently, and that's exciting. But we want to have more activity up there as well. Nunavut, Yukon, Northwest Territories. Unfortunately, a lot of the jobs up there are federal or government jobs. Like something like 50% of the workforce of Yukon works for the government.
Wow.
It's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah, that would be. I can see that too. Lower population, a lot of government would be up there.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about navigating through the Canadian climate. I know you kind of had an interest in kind of opening up a discussion about kind of what's going on and the crazy world of being vaxxed or unvaxxed. Now we got what is it, monkeypox and all stuff
Yeah.
happening. So I know you wanted to discuss a little bit about the climate.
Well, the climate's been fascinating from my point of view. There's been a lot more activity, with employers since the mandates got lifted. And I was wondering about that because we did, promote our anonymous option very heavily. But it seems as though employers are coming to post with us still. New employers are coming forward now, most likely because they're more comfortable to post their name under the banner of jobless jobs. And the majority of them are not anonymous. But I think that they were just a little concerned before. So the climate seems to have opened up for them to be more comfortable in stating where they're at. We were pretty sure that we would have job seekers still coming to the job board because so many of them felt betrayed, and we were pretty sure that that there would still be many employers who would continue to enforce their mandates even without having the provincial mandates. So I knew those two things would happen, but what I didn't expect is more employers coming forward like they have been, and then also it's been fun to notice that there's still a lot of people who haven't heard of us. So there's lots of room to expand. And through that expansion, we've been coming across people who are still in the same circumstance they were in October, November. For many people, the climate hasn't changed. It's a little concerning. Melissa was just on the phone this morning with someone who's on unpaid leave, single mother on Vancouver Island. That person is, having a heck of a time right now, and she was very pleased to find out there was a job she qualified for. So best of luck to her.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Just where everything is at. We're watching also with. It's hard for a lot of employers to find employees nowadays. In Ontario, it's been a heck of a time. I have friend business owners, and they have the work, but no one's applying, right? And then we have all these shortages, and the same with these unpaid leaves. It would be easier if they just hired them back. But like you said, there are a lot of companies that are still carrying on with the mandate ideas, even though they're not in effect. I believe in Ontario, there's still part of the mandate in effect. I think it ends June 11th. They kind of slid it on us. And it's minor, but it's still kind of lurking in the background. I also think that the trucker convoy has woken up a lot of people where they seem to be a little less fearful. And this is where the openness is starting to come out. When you see that many people congregate in Ottawa, I think people are starting to become a little more bold with their opinions. And, people that have gotten one or two jabs and they just don't want to keep carrying on, and they're looking for a different venue.
Yeah, that one was awesome. Like I saw so many people who hadn't been active on social media in regards to their side of the narrative, their point of view of the narrative. I saw them all wake up or start posting stuff that really supported our side of history, and I was like, why were they quiet for the last year and a half? Almost 2 years, really. That was great. That was really a lot of fun to see. But I think it also scared a lot of people too, with the actions the government took, which are absurd. Just suddenly people being worried about their bank accounts and stuff, and I don't know how someone can navigate that after having experienced something like that. The leaked list of donors was just so wrong. Like, it was just so wrong, and that scared a lot of people from wanting to be on any website. So I saw two sides to it. One was that a lot more people were speaking up, and then there was a lot of people who got scared. And a lot of people, we were suddenly getting emails questioning our security. Is the government going to find out who's on your list? And we had to just assure them that we have the best security we could possibly have on our website. But it was a strange one because people were really afraid that they would be exposed for posting on jobless jobs. That concerned me a little bit. Like, that was us feeling the effects of the government's actions, which we're not doing anything illegal. So why would these people be afraid? I mean, even if they're an employer who isn't mandated, there's so many employers who aren't even mandated who feel social pressure to mandate their employees to be jabbed. It's absurd. It's gotten pretty crazy.
Yeah. That's what happens when you have fear driving the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a bunch of people that are doing abnormal things that they normally wouldn't do, just for the sake of that fear, even though there was nothing that was really done. I mean, the whole bank account being frozen and that list being leaked.
Mm-hmm.
These are good reasons why people should be nervous or frightened. But through those acts, that's where we really need to kind of bring things forward and kind of push on that, because that's totally not right. And in the meantime, all of us have to keep working. So, what better way to do it than with your services? So, how is your success rate of getting people into jobs?
Oh, we're just going to be starting a survey on that. It's in the hundreds. I know we've had over, we're probably at about 430 accounts. And that's just people who have made accounts. That's not including all the jobs they've listed. So we've had over 450 jobs listed on the job board. And so there is some jobs that didn't get much traction, but then there's other jobs that just got overwhelmed. So we're thinking we're somewhere above 400 employees placed so far. But we're going to do an official survey. We're going to kick that off hopefully sometime in June, and we're going to be calling everyone who's posted a job with us, getting some solid numbers from them. We've been just too small of a team in the recent months, because we've gotten to the point where we can't keep up with all the things we want to do. We really want to reach out to more people to hear about us. So we have a need for marketing. We need administrative help as well. So we're just assembling our team to be a larger team. We've added 2 more people to the team, and possibly a 5th. So we're going to be looking at having a team of 5 here in the next little while. So maybe even 6. Going from a team of 3 to a team of 6, which should really help us out.
Yeah, no, that's very good. I was just reading a comment we have here in the chat, and as a home care worker, PSW since 1998, she winds up saying that in November 30th, she was placed on unpaid leave of absence from for health decisions. Today, to today, last 6 months been unpaid. leave of absence, no ability to collect EI. See, that's a sneaky thing they did as well, right? As they started to pull away your ability to get EI. I do know that there are a couple of people out there that are kind of helping people navigate that storm as well. So for the past 21 months,
Wow.
perfectly safe to work through the pandemic, but I guess now without the vax, of course, you're not safe. Never missed a date, not a client sick. Natural immunity since December 2019. Savings are depleted. This is a common story amongst a lot of Canadians. It so much is. So, and now in the next few months, looking at being homeless. And she states, this is my country, the one my uncle fought for and died for, so it's incredible what's actually happening. So, Lynn, you should go to Jabless Jobs and see if we can't get you something on there, something in your field, something else. We don't want to see anyone get homeless, right? So,
Lynn, if you're still listening, Lynn, know that we work for you. It's people like you who we consider our boss. We are motivated every day because we unfortunately hear your story too often. And Lynn, you or anyone else who's listening, know that if you don't see jobs in your region, feel free to take anything off of our website, any links off of our website, any social media posts off of Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or anything off Telegram, and share it with your community. If there's a local Facebook group that you're a part of, we have no problem with people taking our links and our posts and sharing them around. That's the best way to promote us to employers in your region, is for them to just see us consistently and know that we're here and we're legit. That's something we want everyone to know. Just go ahead and take whatever you want and share it. It's perfectly fine. If you're still listening there, Lynn, let me know what region you're in. I'm just curious.
Yeah, Lynn says I'm still here, so yeah, let us know the region you're in, Lynn, and
if you're comfortable with it. If you're not comfortable with it, you don't have to say it. It's just a curiosity.
But that's perfect. That's a really good way to kind of get the message out there, get people all involved, right? Start posting in your region. See, she says she's in the Keswick Newmarket area.
Is that around Holland Landing?
Yeah, kind of give or take. Yeah, in Ontario.
Ontario, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have a few jobs there just recently that came in. So Lynn, go to our job board and check it out. And I don't know what your qualifications are or something, but I believe we have a couple jobs in your neighborhood. So please let us know. And you can also email me with any questions you have at hello@jablessjobs.work. I'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. Let's see if we can get post your email there, and this way people can see it.
Yeah, go for it. I don't think I can type on that.
I don't know. Awesome. So that's pretty good. Hopefully that all works out for you. She says, I will. Thank you so much. Right. So this is what this is all about. We're trying to get the message out there as broad and wide as we can, to as many people as we can. And that's such a great idea, to go on to any one of the Jabless job sites, copy links, post them everywhere, share them with your friends, family, get the word out there. You never know who's looking, especially nowadays, trying to navigate through this. As I said, I know, excuse me, I know quite a few business owners that are having a heck of a time just trying to find employees. So all the business owners I know out there, start listing on Jabless Jobs. So I'm gonna wind up doing it. I'm looking, as I said, for a couple of artists. I put out a couple of things. Normally, I usually get quite a few hits on it. This navigation of this new climate is really bizarre, really bizarre, right? Normally, I'd wind up with 15, 20 hits by now. I had one, and then I hired somebody part-time. But again, normally I have probably 15, 20 people kind of seeking through that. Have you
Another
noticed any
thing,
trends like that?
yeah, well, I've noticed that jobs that pay $20 an hour or more tend to get more hits.
Yeah.
Really unique jobs, like obscure stuff, not so much. Like we had one job last fall for an insurance broker with their own clients and a lot of specifications, and they were an anonymous company. We knew who they were. They're out here in Burnaby. I met the people personally, but they didn't get any applicants because there was just so many specific things for that. However, like work from home jobs, they just get filled right up. Like everyone's looking for work from home jobs now. And we do get a little bit more traction than normal for trades jobs. I mean, everyone's looking for tradespeople. But we've seen a lot of people. It's a unique time because tradesmen are available. It's not raining tradesmen or anything, but we used to have to post a job and never for a tradesman and never get an applicant. Now it's actually happening. So that's cool. Then we've noticed a lot of our job seekers are looking for office work, administrative work, and especially in the GTA. And I think that's people who were working for the city recently, working for the government. And so we're seeing a lot of office and administrative people available. There seems to be a good flow of that. So any type of jobs like that get hit real hard with applicants. Labor's not so much unless they pay more than $20 an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, my line of work is pretty special, specialist, right? So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm going to give it a whirl. As I said, have you had any tattoo artists or piercers list on your site yet?
I don't think we've had a job for a tattoo artist yet. No, I think you'd be the first. But awesome. I don't have them all memorized. We've had hundreds. Melissa's got them all in her head. She's pretty good at remembering all that stuff.
Yeah. Get the stats going, eh? So
yeah. Another thing I've noticed too is there's a lot of people who are wanting to transition careers, but they're being pretty picky, and that's okay for things like income and lifestyle. Like if you physically can't do the job, then that's perfectly fine. But I've noticed a lot of people are being picky because they're leaving like city and government jobs that were unionized or had extremely amazing benefit plans. They're not always going to find those in mom and pop shop companies that they're applying for. We haven't had any serious incidents, but we did have one person, one company who was just a mom and pop shop who hired someone who had spent their entire career working for a unionized company, and they noticed right away that this person has a union background. So any employers out there who are going to be hiring anyone from this newly marginalized community know that if you call an ex-unionized worker, there's a rule that they have to say everything positive. They're not allowed to say anything negative about that applicant, even with their if they're a reference, they have to say positive things. So if you're checking in on someone who's been working for a union, then I would suggest maybe calling 2 or 3 times that reference, just to get have to read between the lines. Because eventually something will come out. So that's just one word of advice I'd give to employers, because there's a lot of newly unemployed people who have a union background, and that can cause a bit of a conflict of communication. So just a heads up on that. But normally all these people who were unionized, they're happy to give up whatever benefits they had, and they're just happy to feel like part of a family with a like-minded crew for whatever job they're doing.
That's very good. I didn't realize that, so you got to kind of feel that situation out a little more deeper.
Yeah, we really encourage employers to use references, because and especially if they're unionized, call the union rep like 2-3 times, and you'll start to read between the lines. It's something we really encourage.
Yeah.
Use references.
Very good. That's something I even do. So it's a little abnormal in my industry a lot of times. There isn't reference checks, but I've come from a restaurant background, so it's always about the reference checks, right? So
Yeah.
I got in the habit of that, and it saves a lot of time, a lot of headaches. So a lot of people don't realize that, right? It's a simple 2 to 5 minute phone call can make a world of difference of hiring anybody.
Yeah, and you got to watch out. People just use their friends too. Like,
Yeah.
you just help your friend paint a fence, and then you can just use people. So you got to be careful as an employer. You got to really dig into the references and use them. We really encourage that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. As I said, I've utilized them big time. So, and again, it saves you a lot of hassle, aggravation. Same as when you're buying a house, you get a home inspector, right? So it saves you tons of money in the long run. So do you have anything else on the horizon? Anything else that you're kind of moving into?
Well, we're really excited about expanding the team. We've been pretty good. Melissa's been a machine. She's been awesome. But we've been pretty good at just tackling what's priority. But suddenly we're getting to a point where more than one thing at a time are priorities. So we're really excited about expanding the team. We got this couple from Abbotsford to help us with administrative work and marketing, and we're looking at expanding our IT department. So we're just talking with some people right now about getting on as part of the team. So we're really excited about that. That's going to give us an opportunity to really give people everything they're asking of us. I mean, I always get emails from people saying, can you recommend a midwife for me that's not going to force the jab on me? Is there any place I can play my live music? So we're looking at building some sort of network platform for people to be able to find services that they're looking for, or connect with businesses that they want to do business with. So a business to business sort of thing. And we're just in the works of doing that. So that's on the horizon. That's around the corner. Hopefully it's not going to be many months. Maybe a month or two away would be ideal. But I don't want to speak too much on that just yet, because we're just still in the design stage. But it's exciting. It's potential exciting for all these people to network with each other, and especially for applicants to post their own profile. That way an employer can seek and find applicants on the website. That's something we're wanting to add here shortly too as well. So we're really excited about all that.
That'd be pretty interesting. So you'd be able to go through and hunt for an employee, somebody that has your skills, and then be able to message them?
Yeah, as of right now, that's all done offline. So something we started doing recently is, because we've gotten thousands of resumes. I mean, we're above 4,000 resumes of people that have just emailed us their resume, just submitted their resume to us. And we recognize that each one of those resumes is, someone's entire life's hope. And so we want to honor that as much as we can. And so now when we get a new job listing, we go into our database of resumes, and we look for someone who's, not necessarily even directly related to that experience, but, even indirectly related to that experience. So for if it's a driving job, we'll even look for mechanics, for example, and we'll send them an email with a link to the job and the job description, and just send them a personal email to let them know. So that's just a little more work we're doing, and we're treating that as another priority that is coming down on Melissa again. She's just been a machine, and I'll probably say that a few more times in this chat. And that's been great, because it's gotten people to realize we're still here, we're thinking of you, and we're honoring your resume submission. And it's gotten a few more applicants for some of the jobs that wouldn't have got applicants, like things that pay for less than $20 an hour, for example. And then those people share those links too. So it's been really great. Like there's just been a lot of sharing around. People can just copy and paste those links in that email and let their friend know who might live closer or is affiliated within the industry that might want to be moving to that area. That sort of thing. It's been pretty cool. It's been great.
Yeah, that is very cool. That's kind of a different concept where you can actually go through the applicants and start to sift through the things that would be common for yourself as a business and hunting for an employee.
Yeah, we're in a position where we can do that now because like we have thousands of resumes. So, hey, check this out. You sent us your resume. This job might interest you. Are you still looking? Here you go. That's been very effective. And so people send in your resumes where we use them. We'll hook you up.
Yeah. Do you still have a program to help people spruce up their resumes and cover letters and such?
Yeah, we have a resume building service. People can go into, there's a job seekers page on our menu on our website. You just go and click on job seekers and you'll see it's at the bottom. And it's for $50. I believe it's the cheapest on the internet. You'll get a professional resume. Please be as detailed as possible. Just write in a lot of words there. And our resume specialist will refine it for you and make it perfect. She does a great job. And you'll get your resume sent to you within 2 business days. We've had great feedback from that. People are really loving that. So yeah, we still have that.
That's amazing. So it's you got quite a few services that you're actually able to offer those hunting for work and those that are hunting for employees, right? So and you can't go wrong with that. I know a lot of people do struggle with constructing a proper resume, and that's highly important. That's your first initial contact, right? So you got to get it right.
Yeah, that's something that's super important. We had a lot of people asking us about how to get a resume done, and one thing I'd like to add, that's the only charge that we, fee that we charge to job seekers. We just couldn't do that for free. But know that if you're a job seeker coming to our website, it's absolutely free to apply for a job, and it'll always be free to apply for a job on Jabless Jobs. We're never going to charge job seekers. The resume is a bit of a different thing because we have to hire someone to do it, and then we needed to have a certain quality there. But I mean, if you go to check out any other resume building services, they're like $99 or more. So we're just straight up $50, and you get a great resume. And we'll also give you 2 versions of it: a Word doc and a PDF. And our resume specialist, if she has any recommendations, we'll give you some recommendations, so that way you can make updates and changes to your resume through your Word doc, and then just save it as a PDF. So we send it back to you with some flexibility on your end. It's a great setup.
That's an awesome setup. So you can literally pay the $50, get the resume, you can print them off, go around your town, still use Jabless Jobs. So now you have a few other options. So you can't go wrong with that. Options are the key, right?
Yeah, if someone needs to update it or refine it a little bit, she'll often make some recommendations, or if some information's missing, that sort of thing. And then you can edit your changes on the Word doc and just save it as a PDF. And it gives some longevity to the resume that you get from us. It gives it a little bit more, shelf life.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked.
So have you noticed a change in what you're doing more so at the turn of the year, or when was it that you kind of like blasted off? I know you've been busy from the beginning. You kind of you really picked up, but where was your next kind of like explosion that happened?
November last year, when Rebel News ran a story on us. We had a fun little explosion. We all learned a lot real quick about websites and sales online and stuff. It was a good fun time. And the little bursts have been common throughout from time to time. But yeah, that was our big blast. Then a lot of other news media followed from there. I've just been doing podcasts somewhat consistently since January, pretty much. I think that took a bit of a break in February, March, and just. But no, I think it was I think it was March. I just started doing more podcasts again. People just started reaching out, and I sent a few emails out and stuff. So, but yeah, that's been pretty good. It's November was definitely our blast onto the scene.
Yeah.
We're ready for more. If another blast happens, we're even more ready.
Yeah. That's very good. I'm excited to hear. I was excited to find out you guys even existed there when we had you on the podcast last time, and it's great to see that you're expanding. You're at the position where you're struggling to keep up. That's a good problem to have, right?
Mm-hmm. It's funny. Like a lot of people, when they hear about us, they're like, for one, people think that, and naturally, people will assume that I saw a business opportunity here, and that's why I started it. The truth is, I needed a job. I started Jabless Jobs on Telegram to make a job board for Vancouver, so I could find a job because my employer was doing the same thing that everyone's going through. So know that, like, all the job seekers that come to our website, I'm one of them. I'm just like them. I was in the same boat. But funny thing is, like, people assume that I saw a business opportunity and started it for that reason. I did see a business opportunity, but not when I started it. It was in the following weeks after I started it that when I actually had to monetize. If I was going to keep it going, I had to figure out how to monetize it, and that's like the business was a necessity. Otherwise, it would have just dropped off the face of the internet. So it's been funny and occasionally people will say to me that they think what I'm doing is brilliant and they wish they would have thought of it, or they had an idea to do it but then they didn't, and that's where I'm a little confused. Is like, what if you had an idea to save the nation? If you had an idea to save to save a lot of people's hardships, why didn't you do it? And I don't really understand that. Maybe they were busy in their personal life, but I didn't really rip into some of these people. But that also reminds me of like how many people I've had come forward and wanting us to work with them, or wanting us to give them all the information of all the businesses we have because they have a project going that involves them doing a million other things at once, and those. And we've even had some volunteers who are doing too many things at once and then want to help us, and we don't do volunteers anymore. But during those times and trying to work with those people is when nothing happens. We've gotten out ahead for our department of the movement, if you will, is because we've focused on one thing, and that's just been working hard on employment. And then we figured out a way to monetize it so we can stay full time on it. And then we just keep moving forward with it. It just keeps growing. It keeps going because we've chosen that lane and stayed in it. And this is where I get confused because I see so many other people in the movement, smart people, very capable people, who aren't getting the traction that we are for what they're doing. And it's usually because they're doing too many things. So I really hope that Jabless Jobs can be a model for people and an inspiration to really refine your motion in the movement. Choose one lane and stay in it. It takes a lot of discipline because people come forward with a lot of very important requests. Their concerns are very, very important. And I mean, I'd love to satisfy all those needs, but I can't. Because I won't succeed with Jabless Jobs if I try to do too many other things. So anyone listening out there, if you want to be active, it's a matter of what do you have access to? What's available to you? Where can you be more effective? And consider those things and focus on that and give it a name, give it a tunnel, give it a lane to stay in, and then give yourself some ideal like principles. So just give yourself some guiding principles and write them down, pin them to your desk, and make sure you stay within those guiding principles, and then you'll be able to stay in your lane that way. That's really how, I don't need those guiding principles taped to my desk anymore because they're just burned into my head. But in the beginning, I did have those. I had written those down. And it was more about the integrity of the job board that was my guiding principles. But that list evolved and grew into staying within our lane. And that's why we were able to do that and get out ahead of so many other parts of the movement. Is because we just did one thing and we monetized it and we're able to stay full time on it. And there's so much more opportunity for that within the movement. And I'm a little disappointed that we're so far into this, and I haven't seen anyone else monetize one thing. There's t-shirt sales and there's merch and stuff, and that's great. But to monetize the movement, to monetize the action is what I'm talking about. All these people that have gotten jobs through Jabless Jobs are people the government did not want working. And so in that sense, we're clearly fighting a potential communist takeover with ethical capitalism. That's our tool. And our incentive is profits, our incentive. So if we make more sales, that means employers are posting jobs. If we have more employers posting jobs, then we have more people finding jobs that the government never wanted to work. It's a perfect cycle. It's a perfect means of fighting in the movement. So we got one foot in the resistance and another foot in business, and that's where we're sort of always trying to keep our balance in. It doesn't do us any good to go hold up a sign, but it does do us good to make build relationships with non-discriminatory employers, and that's our grassroots action in the movement. And I just think there's a lot more opportunity. A dating site, a travel site, accommodations, living quarters, living in an apartment. There's apartment building managers that are still asking people for proof of vaccination. Where are the apartment managers who don't ask that question? Where are they supposed to advertise? We can't do it on our job board because it's a job board, just black and white like that. So anyone listening, just put together an idea, give it a catchy name, and list out your guiding principles, and you'll succeed. There's a lot of open holes in this movement, a lot of open holes in the departments of our lives that have been effective. So please take action, monetize it. You'll win. We'll help you.
Yeah, no doubt. I never even thought of that, with living accommodations and so many different other facets. So if we get people doing that, then it creates a great ease. You don't even have to go through the questions. You already know where everyone stands. So this is quite the beautiful thing. So yeah, anyone out there listening on that, get on it. Yeah, we need to get those living accommodations. So when we're moving around, because I know quite a few people that have had hang-ups with that as well. Mm-hmm. Especially in the GTA, where the building managers have been very strict with masks and all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's been
really
nutty.
Weird stuff, really bizarre.
Yeah, and someone like Lynn, who commented earlier, who might be homeless soon, she doesn't even have anywhere to look. She doesn't have a listing page for accommodations that might be a little more affordable for her in her circumstance. That just doesn't exist. It's heartbreaking. I just really wish there was something like that out there. And the entrepreneur in me wants to do it because that's another business opportunity. But I got to be realistic and know that I would just not succeed with my job board because we're already spread pretty thin. We need to expand the team to just keep up with all the demand we have. If I started accommodations listings board and really tried to promote it and give it a go, then I'm afraid that the job board Jabless Jobs would fail too, because we're just spread too thin. So if we can grow the team bigger, I'll do it. but not for a long time. It's just, but I'm really disappointed that someone hasn't started that yet. If someone does start that, reach out to us. We'll promote you on our socials. We'll call you a partner. We'll put you on our homepage.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. What a good opportunity for anybody out there that has the willpower and discipline to move forward.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of opportunity right now. Please, someone do it.
Oh yeah. No, and that's the thing is whenever we any society goes through any of the havoc that's kind of been thrown upon us, that's where a lot of the entrepreneurial people start to kind of break out and refine things, start to switch things around, fill in those holes like you were talking about. More people need to get creative, and instead of sitting on the sidelines and saying, "Oh, I should have," and just start to do, and like yourself, you seen what was happening. You're like, "Hey, I need to do something about my own job situation."
Yeah.
Now here you are because you're trying to fix something, and that means you're in the best spot that you could be in.
Well, yeah, and my I tried to solve a problem for myself that millions of other Canadians were going through the same problem. I had a catchy name, and our logo and colors just showed up within the first week. And so I had another guiding principle to it as well, as that I wanted a clean and clear job board. I wanted a job listing board on Telegram where we started that only showed jobs, because everything else that had a name that might describe what type of employer I'm looking for, there was other job listing boards on Telegram. But that existed there. All of them were just so noisy with information that I just did not need. And just news links and stuff that weren't jobs. So my guiding principle in the beginning was I just wanted a clean, clear job board. I wanted to see nothing but jobs in Vancouver, here where I live, because I wanted a job I can take a bus to. So, and I know people just, especially on our side of history, just love Google more than anything in the world. People just love Google. But I'm going to do an analogy with Google. There was like 17 or 18 other search engines out there by the time Google formed. And they were workable search engines, but what Google did is they came up with a clean slate, a clean screen, where you can go and just get directly linked to the information that you're looking for. So that was really my inspiration, was out of my own need. But then I remembered, like, there's no reason why this can't succeed as long as I just have keep a clean, clear, listing of jobs. That really mattered to me. So as much as people love to hate Google, I was using that analogy in the beginning, saying, like, look, there's a need for a clean, clear job board, and we're going to do it. A few weeks into it, we had our structure down packed. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good, because I've commented on Google before in the past, and it's like I've told people it's one of the biggest marketing platforms there is. And I've had people disagree. No, it's a search engine. I'm like, no, it's a marketing platform. Go look at it. It's just very clean, concise. I've always designed my websites that way as well. I look at it as reading a magazine, right? Magazines don't give you these pop-ups and all these other things that distract you out of what the content is within the magazine. So the cleaner, the simpler, the more precise it is, the better. You maintain the focus of your audience, and you give them what they want.
Yeah, and I mean, I hate to use the analogy of Google, because, I mean, they have that saying of don't be evil. Well, they started being evil. And that sucks. But that is a great analogy for how we, for people to understand how we came about. We had a descriptive name. We had a clean job board, and we just focused on that one thing, and it worked, and it's still going. we believe that there'll be a need for us. I mean, possibly forever. I mean, people are scarred from this for a long time, forever. They're not going to forget what they went through for the rest of their lives. We built a level of brand loyalty that can never be bought, and we're gonna work hard to protect the integrity of that brand loyalty that we've gained. But we're in a position now where we can look at expanding to more people in Canada that haven't heard of us yet, and just really solidify ourselves as a non-discriminatory employment board. And there's such a need for it that like with everything going so woke left, there's a need for like-minded job seekers and to find like-minded employers. It's clearly there's a need for that, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing it. I did set a goal, like I said to the team, we need people to see that we're still here in October and November. As if we're still here in October and November, which I know we will be, but people need to see that we're still here in that time, and then they're going to know that we're going to be here for a long time. We weren't just in season. We weren't just a fashion, for what had occurred last fall. So we're sticking it out. We're going to be around for a long time.
That's amazing. Definitely. And I can see that. I see the importance of it, as I said, and it's forever growing. There are quite a few people that have been coerced into taking the jabs, and they want out. As you said, that's a scar. It's a trauma. Your employer forced you to do something against your will and told you if you didn't do it, you're no longer going to have your livelihood. So definitely, people out there.
Well, and all the people who have put in 10, 15, 20 years for their employer and then just got booted out, leave without pay, they're not going to forget that. They feel betrayed, and there's millions of them. Right. So there's and a lot of them haven't heard of us, even with all the media attention we've had. We have a lot of room to grow because there's still a lot of people who haven't heard of us. So we're reaching out to them. And so there's so much out there of people who have been scarred. There's so many examples of people who have been scarred by this in all their different ways, who need our service.
Yeah.
And we're coming for them. We're letting them know we're here.
That's amazing. That's great. So, well, I think we're about at the end of our podcast. I'm sorry, I can't speak now. But yeah, no, that was great. So I'm looking forward to tapping into your services, putting a job listing out there.
Awesome.
Everybody that is watching this podcast, do us a favor, both George and We Are Essential, share our podcast. We need to get these messages out there. The further we spread it, the more wide we spread it. We don't know who is sitting on the fence anymore. We don't know who's kind of there and they don't know what to do. And this could be that one video that just, sets it aside for them, and then they start to take action. So, share it on all your medias, get it out there, subscribe this channel. Also go to Jabless Jobs. George is saying, share all his stuff. Let employers in your community and all those that are looking for work in your community, let them know that Jabless Jobs is out there to help service you getting a job. They help with resumes and employers. We all need to start getting on there and getting our Canadians back to work, a lot of them, and getting them into a more secure, beneficial, healthy environment. Right. And what better way to do that? Because you already know what your employer is about if they're hiring jobless people. And we already know what the employees are all about, being business owners. So again, we're a part of We Are All Essential. We encourage all businesses to join our network. We have an amazing support system. We do Zoom calls once a week. We have a website that you can, talk with like-minded people. We also have a Telegram group, which is very interactive. You combine all this together, and we're just driving that workforce. So, again, thank you so much for being on the show tonight, George.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Also, we're also looking for volunteers. So if you don't have a business, you can join We Are All Essential as a support system and volunteering your time to help get these messages out there, help support your local businesses. This way we can keep employing people, and George can keep us with employees, and we can keep employing them. So let's keep Canada strong. Thank you so much for being here. So have a great night.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.